We're talking with Professor Monte Brown of the Philosophy Department about his new book, Reason, Revelation, and Metaphysics. In this last segment, he talks about some of his influences and the importance of freedom.
We have to keep the distinction alive between the good, the beautiful, and the true.
In your own life, has the reason come before the faith and led you to faith, or has there always been a foundation of faith that led you to this understanding the limitations of reason?
That's a good question, man. I grew up in a Christian family, so it was there in a way. But my way to the Catholic faith was the intellectual route, I think I'd say. I had a lot of questions. And I just started reading, really Plato and Aristotle, interesting enough, the good old pagans. But then that led me to Augustine and Aquinas and Anselm and this whole tradition. So I had a lot of questions. And it seems to me that philosophy can answer a lot of them, but it leads us to the threshold of something more always. And it seems to me that the faith keeps that intellectual life alive. And that's why, grateful to teach at a Catholic college where we can talk about this relationship between faith and reason.
And how did you encounter the work of Keith, who you mentioned, and what influence did that have?
Yes, Kevin McMahon of our theology department did his PhD under Keith. And then 1 year, probably 10 or 15 years ago, we tried to have at least a study group reading parts of Keith. But Keith is very difficult. I mean, he's brilliant, I think. I really do think he's one of the most brilliant theologians, and as a result, a philosopher as well, that I know, but very difficult. So what I did is I knew something was good here I wanted to study, so I took a sabbatical and read his covenantal theology straight through. And by the time you do that, you begin to catch on. So I come introduced by Kevin McMahon, and then I happily had a chance to talk with Father Keith on a number of occasions. We used to visit him once or twice a year down in New York. So I think and his idea is this. And now I'm a philosopher basically, though I love the faith. He's a theologian, and he's going to argue that to really do theology as we should do it in his mind, then you've got to keep the strictly theological points at the center, which would be the Incarnation, the Trinity, and the Eucharist. Rather than trying to explain that by something else, take those and have them help explain the rest of reality in a way, shedding light on the rest of reality.
Yeah, thank you. Is there anything else that you think that we should talk about or you'd like to say? We probably have enough. But
yeah, I think that's good. I mean, I just, again, as I say, the book comes out of, and my take on this is influenced by Keith, but again, I'm working on what is it that someone like a philosopher, someone just with questions and reason, how do we come to understand this? And it seems to me the way in and away from philosophy is our understanding of our own freedom. And somehow that can't be compromised. So, whether it's you think from below, from evolution or matter and motion, we're determined, or from above, from God. It can't be true. Somehow this freedom keeps alive our understanding of what an adequate relationship would be between each other and also with us and God. And that's also revealed in Scripture. So I think it balances each other off.